This blog is a response to both a Facebook message I received and an open discussion of what normal is and perceived as. A word made up by this corrupt society so they could single out and attack those who are different. Normal is nothing but a word made up by society, Urban Dictionary. According with, constituting, or not deviating from a norm, rule, or principle, conforming to a type, standard, or regular pattern. Merriam-Webster.com, conforming to the standard or the common type. Usual, not abnormal, regular, natural. Serving to establish a standard, dictionary.reference.com. That word conform. Man, I have said this a few times now about why should I change what I am doing because a person or group of people tell me that is what I should do or be. Bollocks. I consider myself very unconventional. I don't always do things the way others do. I do things the way I do them because that is what works for me. Before someone tells me, "Hey man, how's that working out for you?" I say, "Hey man, it's working out just fine these days." No, things are not perfect. They will never be perfect. They are not supposed to be perfect. Philosophy 101. The more you go against what you know is your path, the harder those other paths become. I get it. I am a weird SOB. I am fine with that. Took me 2+ decades to be comfortable in my own skin and, man, it's pretty comfortable these days. The only thing hindering my abilities is money. If I made more money, things would be much easier. I started this blog page with the idea that maybe someone would read it and spread that around, and perhaps make a living experiencing life and writing about it for a living. A lot of people are doing well with this these days. So I am doing, not trying, to make this happen. When I was younger, a wee lad, I would do things differently because I knew it would get me noticed, attention. As I got older, I did things differently because it was easier for me to get from one mental point, task, and job to the other. Now at 37, I feel like I do things differently because it is the best way to do them for me. At the end of the day, that is what it's about, what I am doing for me, and not everyone else or anyone else. I suppose this philosophy has a lot in common with the MGTOW philosophy, men going their own way. Some of these principles. MGTOW is about the self, not the group. You are the most important person in your life. Take care of yourself and of that life which is yours. You are the only source that can determine your positive personal identity. Disregarding of negative social demands upon men by the individual refusing to participate in those negative demands. Long-term relationships are discouraged on the account of the risk to one's personal safety. Most of these make sense and are practiced by all peoples, except that last one. That needs a little clarification. I am not going to defend the MGTOW philosophy. They are basically self-loathing types that hate women. Not all are like this, and not all are that extreme about it. I know a few that are really decent and respectful people. It is only a few that practice the philosophy that give all a bad name, like most things these days. I get their point of view most of the time, and most of the time it makes sense. Some of the real extremists, though, are just self-hating men who hate women for whatever reason or reasons the woman has done to them in their relationships. That isn't what I am saying here. I am saying long-term relationships are discouraged on the account of the risk to one's personal safety. Think about that for a second. Guy meets girl due to lack of trust, communication, teamwork, and understanding the relationship. Love falls apart and one or both parties drive each other insane. This kind of thinking can lead to one's own personal safety at risk, I guess. Haha. Normal is what everyone else is and I am not. Society as a whole has a lot against a person that can think and form their own opinions without the aid of the social norm, be it from pop culture, politics, religion, social media, or just large groups of people in general. I am not normal because I do things in a way that works for me, but other people, normal people, cannot understand. Rather than ask questions or open up a line of communication about that particular thing, it is easier to stamp a label on that person and call them freak, or abnormal, strange, or odd. Now labeled as a social pariah, all hope is lost. Or is it? I have always done things to center my thoughts, be it in the gym, swimming, listening to music, going for walks, hitting the beach, sex, or whatever it is that centers my thoughts. concentration to get myself mentally prepared for all this. It used to be music for me. In recent years, it's been the gym. I call it my haven, my church, my fortress of solitude. I call it my meditation time. Some have asked, can one meditate working out? I say, sure. Why not? What is meditation, really? From Wikipedia. Meditation is a practice where an individual trains the mind or induces a mode of consciousness, either to realize some benefit or for the mind to simply acknowledge its content without becoming identified with that content, or as an end in itself. The term meditation refers to a broad variety of practices that includes techniques designed to promote relaxation, build internal energy or life force, and develop compassion, love, patience, generosity, and forgiveness. A particularly ambitious form of meditation aims at effortlessly sustained, single-pointed concentration meant to enable its practitioner to enjoy an indestructible sense of well-being while engaging in any life activity. All these words I bolded here in the Wikipedia definition, I do, I can do, and do regularly at the gym while working out. I would say that is not the normal way to meditate, but it works for me. I do not need to be conventional to get the same effect. This is all opinion at the end of the day, but my human experience is different and unique to everyone else's. So who is to say what I am doing is not correct, perfect, and normal? I do it for me. So what's the difference? Unconventional by David-Angelo Mineo, December 8, 2015. 1,118 words.